Hi, my name's Jake,
I'm Curtis.
and we're here to talk about the final 3 episodes of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay, so to start out is episode 4, and the episode starts with a flashback from where Bucky was in Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you think about that scene? Like to me, what really stood out was Sebastian Stan's acting.
Yeah,
He was so good in that.
Yeah, I didn't really think that he could pull that off, but he done a really good job in that scene. So.
Yeah, he was great. I liked seeing more of that time.
Yeah.
You know? And it's kind of interesting because obviously not that this is first of all, by the way, this is gonna have plenty of spoilers in it. This video is gonna be pretty long, so obviously we're gonna have to be talking about spoilers. But so if you haven't seen it yet, click off and do whatever. But I would definitely watch it before I would watch this video. Okay, so. Not to spoil anything, but obviously this show is building up to Sam becoming Captain America. But my question is we don't really get a new identity for Bucky yet. He's still the Winter Soldier. But I think that name and that persona is so tainted with all the bad things he's done.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna become he brought up 2 different times that they called him White Wolf in Wakanda. Do you think that he's gonna take on that persona eventually?
That would be cool. I would enjoy that.
Because I'm thinking, the next Captain America movie being called Captain America or Captain America and the White Wolf.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Cause I think he's gonna have to do something else. And I don't really know what he does in the comics. I don't know what happens to him.
I have absolutely no idea.
But I don't know. I think something's gonna happen, obviously, with him. So
yeah.
I'm excited to see what persona he takes up next, if he takes up anything, but I'm thinking he will. So with the in the last episode, the Wakanda women came to get Zemo.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the episode, basically they give Bucky 8 hours with Zemo before they're gonna come get Zemo.
Mm-hmm.
And Bucky kind of tries to explain that that they're using him for to deal with a greater evil, but obviously that doesn't work out. They're still you get 8 hours and that's it. And there's my favorite part of this episode is there's 2 parts that are my favorite, but this is tied for one of my favorite parts is the part where Zemo was kind of talking about how the Flag Smashers, kind of had the same ideology that's dangerous, and he's just like the Nazis and Ultron and the Avengers, and Falcon's those are our friends we're talking about, and then Bucky's the Avengers. Not the Nazis. And the way he said that was so funny. I don't know, that really made me laugh. And then in this episode, Zemo has a couple of big things to do. He ends up getting some information that they need from these kids with he offers them some candy, those Turkish Delights. Mm-hmm. And he talks about how those were his son's favorite candy. And that's still I don't know, Zemo, obviously he's the bad guy, but he was my favorite character in the show. And it also makes you feel bad for him, because that was all of Civil War. Captain America Civil War was him pretty much trying to tear apart the Avengers because he kind of saw them and Ultron as responsible for his family dying.
Yeah.
When the Sokovia attack happened in Age of Ultron, so it's kind of I don't know. It kind of brought a couple of times in these episodes it brought you back to the issues that he had in that movie. Yeah. So it's things that he's still dealing with.
He redeemed himself in my book. When I first saw him in at the end of episode 2 and then all of episode 3, I still didn't care for him. I didn't really care for him in the movies, but throughout the rest of the time that he's in it, I started to kind of like him a little bit more and more, except when he killed the dude that created the serum.
Oh yeah. No, it's but even things like that, it's I understand where he's coming from, so it's hard to completely hate him. Guess. So I kind of understand. Obviously, I don't think he's right most of the time, but I do understand where he's coming from. So a big thing that happens with Zemo is that he ends up killing someone who was holding all of the super soldier serum, and he destroys it. He destroys all of them but one. He misses one, and the one that is left, the douchebag new Captain America. He grabs it, and obviously we know what that's leading to. A little bit after the whole Zemo incident with the superpowers or the super soldier serum, we have the girl Carly, who's kind of the leader of the Flag Smashers, and John Walker kind of wants just to bust in and take her down, and Falcon's trying to explain that that there's reasons why she feels the way she does, and she's doing what she's doing. Yeah. And Falcon wants to kind of talk her down from like what she's doing, and he makes that effort, and seems like he's succeeding.
Yeah.
Like he's really talking to her, like reaching her, and she seems like she's like they're gonna work it out. And then of course the new Captain America, who's like just so hungry for action and to be the hero, he busts in and kind of like breaks her trust that she had with Falcon, and everything kind of falls apart from there in the episode. Okay, so before we get to the conclusion of the episode, I want to bring up a little conversation that John Walker had with his buddy earlier in the episode, where they were talking about if they could take the super soldier serum, would they? And if they were worried about it or anything. And his friend says that basically, the super soldier serum, like, power only makes you more of what you already are.
Yeah.
And that made me think about that with like in real life too. And that goes for, like, think about it. If you have an employee that that is not the friendliest in the world, he's kind of an asshole to deal with. Yeah. Imagine if he becomes your boss.
It'd be time to find another job.
Yeah, or like like we know like everything that's going on with the police right now, and then like there's like people that like become cops that are good people, and there's ones that are bad people, and it's kind of just like whichever one you are when you get this kind of power, you become more of.
Yeah.
And that's for everything. That's for every like position. That's not just like super soldier serum.
Yeah.
That's every like position in the world where you get any kind of more power. Like presidents, like anything.
Yeah.
Like if you're good, then you're gonna be more good, and if you're bad, you're gonna be more bad.
Yeah.
And like this, and he's definitely falls into the bad category in these episodes. So that leads into the final confrontation when John Walker interrupts Sam's little talk with the Carly, the Flag Smashers, and what ends up happening is his friend is killed during the confrontation, and he kind of loses it, and he pretty much murders one of the Flag Smashers.
Yeah. Just
like in daylight, cold blood, and like all these people with camera phones are kind of watching and like all kind of shocked and all. And how did you feel about that final scene? I thought it was, like, me personally, I thought it was super powerful seeing him with the Captain America shield covered in blood.
Yeah, it made me super angry. Like,
yeah, and the thing is like, okay, so I saw, which is kind of weird. I saw some people commenting on comment sections on Facebook about how they didn't really understand why that was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, every Avenger has killed people before, right? Like Captain America was in World War II.
Yeah.
He very obviously killed people. But the difference is that that's when it's necessary and not just out of this guy just did not have to kill that guy.
No, he acted out of anger, and it was all in revenge. And also when they've killed people, they've literally been in battle. Like, this dude killed this dude in the middle of the street around everybody.
While he was defenseless, he was he had won the fight.
Yeah,
and then he chose. Yeah, so that was. I was like, man, that's rough. Seeing him with that, with Captain America, Steve Rogers shield, covered in blood. That was hard to watch, honestly. I was like, that is a very powerful image. Another thing with John Walker, which we kind of see more of, is so he ends up pretty much in this fight. He gets in the finale, he gets his ass kicked pretty hard by AO and the other Wakanda soldiers. They take him out, and he's very upset that he was defeated by people that weren't even super soldiers.
Yeah.
He's just he's getting his butt kicked by these girls, and he's so upset about it. It's kind of crazy because the way he talks to you can just tell that I don't know, that he sees himself above other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can never imagine Steve Rogers acting like that because he lost a fight.
No, not at all.
And this guy, he acts like he's so much better, which only him feeling like he's better than everyone else only becomes worse once he gets the super soldier serum.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty much everything that they're dealing with by the end of the episode, and that kind of leads us into episode 5. So I thought episode 5 was going to be this action-packed, crazy episode where I thought around the end of the episode was when they were going to fight the new Captain America. Mm-hmm. But it kind of starts off with that immediately.
Yeah.
It starts off and they're basically they come to the conclusion, which Bucky pretty much had always come to that conclusion. But he knew that since the beginning. But Sam kind of decided hey, we got to take this shield from this guy. And what did you how did you feel about that fight scene?
I love that.
I thought it was awesome too.
When he rips his wings off, and
dude, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I love my favorite part though wasn't even any action. It was like the part where like John Walker's like he's like, you don't want to do this, and Bucky's like, yeah, we do. And, like I was like, man, I really like. It's crazy because like both Sam and Bucky both were side characters up until this point, and like they really stood out in the show.
Oh yeah.
Like every scene, I was like, these guys are awesome. And okay, I'm wrong. That was not actually my favorite part. My favorite part was when they take the shield and they break his arm.
Oh, they break his arm.
That was gross.
Yeah, he yells like a little girl.
Oh man, but just that sound effect that they used, like that was disgusting sounding. I was like, man. I was also like, look, I'm glad this is happening, but it's hard to watch. It was pretty gross. After the fight is another super powerful moment, like similar to the one with the new Captain America with the shield covered in blood.
Mm-hmm.
It was Sam wiping the blood off of the shield, and being upset because like he knew, like it's like. That was like Steve Rogers' shield that like now it's like there's 1,000 pictures online of it covered in blood with this like crazy guy holding it. And like you could tell like how guilty he felt about being the person that like built that up, like that led to that. So after that it kind of becomes like a dead end with Bucky and Sam and their pursuit of the Flag Smashers. And that kind of ends with like the rest of the episode is pretty much them just hanging out. The only other thing that happens kind of before that is John Walker is officially he gets the Captain America mantle taken away from him by the government, so he's no longer Captain America. And when he gets that taken away, he runs into somebody that was supposed to be her first appearance was supposed to be in Black Widow.
Wait, really?
Yep. The new Captain America runs into a character played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who plays Elaine in Seinfeld, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Like I might put a little montage in this video of like just Seinfeld merchandise that I have in my house. But I was super excited to see her, and like she was supposed to originally, people were supposed to be more excited because she was supposed to premiere in Black Widow, which was supposed to come out quite a while ago. Yeah. And like of course with the movie theaters and COVID and everything, it ended up coming out. So now this is her first appearance. So now the excitement that we felt. We're supposed to feel seeing her come back in this show. I guess we're going to see when we finally get to watch Black Widow.
Okay.
So, which I was like, man, that bums me out now because I was happy to see her.
See, I didn't know.
I didn't know until recently, until like I read that like because like I kept seeing like there's a cameo and then like it was like supposed to be this big deal and then I was like, why is that a big deal? Like, of course, like to me it's a big deal because it's Elaine. Yeah. But I was like, I don't know. Like, I was like, as far as like the Marvel movies go, I don't understand like the context of how this is such a big deal. And I found out she was supposed to be in Black Widow. I guess she was appearing in Black Widow, which never got to come out.
Okay. I didn't really think nothing about it. I just thought she was just brought in.
Right, but they're setting up a lot of big things for her now. Like clearly, like I mean, this is really, even though we haven't got to see her first appearance, this is her second appearance, and they're definitely setting up things for the future. So she's gonna have a very big part of like the movies going forward, I think. So then we get to Sokovia, which is where. In the previous episode, we didn't mention, but in the previous episode, Zemo gets away. He kind of escapes. Oh yeah. Which is funny because like before Zemo escapes, when they were kind of arguing with Walker, it's funny because like they've kind of like switched sides. Like they're like Walker's trying to get Zemo back in prison, and they're like, hey, he's been useful. You've been nothing but an asshole. He's like, Zemo's been helpful. Like really, I mean, a lot of that was Zemo. He helped a lot.
Oh yeah, he's the one that found out where the funeral was supposed to be.
Yeah, and he never betrayed them either, really. Yeah. So it's like I don't know. So Zemo kind of like really like redeemed himself a little bit in this show, and like basically like once he escapes in the previous episode, we find out that he went to Sokovia, and he was kind of just hanging out, and even then he doesn't try to fight or get away. He tells Bucky, he's like, I'm not gonna try to kill you, and then Bucky pretty much is like, I'm not gonna try to kill you either. And they kind of just like, it seems like they kind of like make amends a little bit. Yeah. Before he's taken off by the Wakanda soldiers to the underwater prison from Civil War. Yeah. So with Val, like I said, I think that she's setting up a lot of things. They mention that underwater prison a couple of times in this show. Yeah.
The raft.
Yeah, the raft. They've mentioned it a lot, and I feel like that is leading up to something. I think that. Once we get to near the end of the next episode, just remember, like, I think that a lot of the super villains that are in the raft, I think they're going to manage to like kind of become their own little Suicide Squad type team. You know, like I don't think that they're going to like be heroes. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
But I mean like here, like villains from all these different superheroes are going to come together and like have their own team of anti-Avengers sort of. Yeah, that's what I think. Because I don't think that Zemo with this show with the dancing and just everything, like Zemo's too popular to not bring back.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, to me, like after this show, he's kind of like gotten like not quite as high as Loki, but Loki's like one of those characters so popular like you can't get rid of. Kind of like the Joker, you know?
Okay.
Like the Joker's gonna be around forever. Like
Yeah.
he's gonna be fighting Batman like for the next like 1,000 years. And that's the thing with I feel like Zemo's kind of like gotten into like not nearly as hot as those two. But after this show and like I mean every other episode like there was memes about this guy. So like I'm pretty sure that like with his popularity like they're not gonna not bring him back. And with him being there and being the manipulator that he is, I think he could definitely create a team of super villains. But pretty much after that, it's kind of a chill episode. It's kind of just more character building and like definitely not what I expected. It's kind of the calm before the storm, I guess, is what I would call it. Like first he goes and Sam goes back to Isaiah.
Yeah.
And talks to him and kind of like talks to him kind of about his past and everything that happened to him, and kind of told him a little bit like the dilemma about becoming the next Captain America.
Yeah.
And it seems like Sam's like really turned off about being the next Captain America during that scene, which later on he kind of like determines that like this guy can't dictate his life, like because the way things were then is not the way things are now, and just because things went that poorly for him does not mean that things are going to go that poorly for Sam.
Yeah.
So that's a lot that he's got to deal with, and it's all understandable. But then, like, so he does that, and then the rest of the episode is kind of him and Bucky hanging out in his hometown with his sister and like getting his boat fixed and everything, and playing almost a weird version of catch with the shield.
Yeah.
Where they were bouncing the shield off of trees and like each other were catching it, and like how did you feel about just the downtime of this episode?
I really enjoyed it. Like I know in the last video I said I didn't think Anthony Mackie could like had the charisma to pull like carry the franchise like Chris Evans did.
Right.
But like the last couple of episodes, like he done a really, really good job.
He changed everything in the last two.
Yeah.
I think.
Him and Sebastian Stan, I think they could do it now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's seeing them. My favorite part of them hanging out was so a couple episodes ago, Bucky was on a date with the girl from the.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so in this episode, he kind of has a little thing for Bucky has a little thing for Sam's sister.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, like, and he's like, kind of, you could tell that he was like macking on her a little bit, and it was so funny. Sam's reaction, he was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, stay away from my sister." And it's funny because like, in all these movies, we've seen pretty much Bucky just be this like tormented person.
Yeah.
Through all these movies, like trying to deal with being the Winter Soldier, and in this episode or this show, he's making up for lost time. It seems like he's having a lot of fun with the ladies.
He's trying.
And he's succeeding. I mean, it seems like they like him. Like both of them seemed like way into him. So I thought that was pretty funny.
I hope that happens with his with Sam's sister.
That
would be awesome.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I think it did. I don't think they're gonna show us, but I definitely. I mean, come on, there was something going on there. And he stayed there a couple of nights, and like, there's no way she didn't like sneak out and say hey to Bucky. And another thing was funny was when Sam was trying to like that thing like burst where it's like shooting the water out.
Yeah. And
Sam was trying to get it like twisted back on the with a wrench, and then Bucky comes and gets the wrench. He's like obviously using his superpower to tighten it, and Sam was like, "Why don't you just use your metal arm?" And he's like, "Sometimes I forget it's there." He's like, "I'm right-handed," and like his cyborg arm is his left hand. And I thought it was funny because this is a very realistic thing.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like I mean there's been multiple times I've been looking for my phone and it's like in my hand. Yeah, so it's like there's no way that like if I had a cyborg arm I would not forget about that like multiple times a day. So that's pretty much it for this episode. The only thing that was left was the after credit scene, which is where Val previously kind of said that the shield is like kind of in a gray area where it's not owned by anybody. So like now that Sam has the shield, the government can't take that shield from Sam.
Yeah.
And the thing with that is like obviously that means that John Walker cannot get the shield back, but he builds his own shield.
Yeah.
A shitty little shield, which we'll find out in the next episode. But he built his own shield.
But he's definitely not Tony Stark or Howard Stark.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that first in the first Iron Man, where Iron Man was building the first suit in the cave.
Yeah.
That's what it made me feel like. Except I was like, but this guy's a douchebag. But first thing is one thing is like the end of the previous episode ended with basically they had spotted the Flag Smashers. They figured out where they're at, and all of this crap is about to go down. And first thing I noticed is, did you see that like face, like camouflage, like disguise thing that Sharon Carter had on, where it like changed her face?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember where that was from?
Uh-uh.
That was from the Winter Soldier. Black Widow had the same technology.
Oh, does she really?
Yeah. She had it near the end of the movie. She used it. I thought it was kind of cool. It was a little callback to Black Widow. And then that's when we see in the previous episode, it ends with Bucky asked the girls from Wakanda for a favor. She was like, "We need a favor."
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, Sam is opening up this briefcase, and it ends. And first of all, let me just throw out that I knew what was in that briefcase.
Oh yeah.
That was the longest week of my life. I was like, I want to see him. I want to see it. And so then at the beginning of this episode, they're pretty much going to stop the Flag Smashers, and we get to see Sam as the new Captain America for the first time. And it's like he instantly comes in. He's still got his Falcon wings, but he's got the Captain America suit on and the Captain America shield, and he looks just like he does in the comics.
Yeah.
And he looks great. And then it's fun. It was such a good moment because a guy asked, he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Captain America." And like the way he said it was like, I really like I didn't know how I was gonna feel having a TV show instead of a movie. Yeah. So I'm personally more of a movie person. But man, the build up, like pretty much the 8-hour build up that we got with this show compared to the movies. The movie's like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So like, if this had been a movie situation, like half an hour in, he would have been Captain America.
Oh yeah.
And in this show, we hour after hour like watching this guy accept that that's who he is going to be. Yeah. And like seeing him finally like say that he's Captain America, that was great.
Yeah, he said it with confidence too.
Yeah, he's like, "I am Captain America."
Yeah.
Like, there's no, this is it. Another thing that really there's a couple of parts that I rewound in this episode like 4 times. Do you remember the part when he's leaving that building? He throws the shield out.
Yeah.
And he jumps out and he flies, and then he catches the shield as in the air. I rewound that like 4 times. I just kept rewinding. I was like, "That's the coolest thing I've ever seen."
When Bucky and Sharon Carter first enter the building, like they're walking through and they go through the metal detector, and then he points at the guy that is leading them away, and like he's one of them. Why didn't they just stop him right then and there?
I'm not sure.
Because they let him go all the way like away from everybody and lead the senators and whatnot down to the van, and they could have just stopped him right there.
I think Bucky was probably, his mind was just distracted by Sam's sister. So, he was, I'm the prize guy. I think there was a couple times in this episode where, so in the previous, in the previous episode when the new Captain America, Walker was standing there after he had just killed somebody, and he had that shield covered in blood, and all these people, everybody in the world has a cell phone now, and the entire crowd is watching this, and they're just like, you can tell they're appalled, and they're taking these pictures and shocked, and I thought there was some nice little parallel storytelling in this episode where the same thing happened a couple times in this episode with the crowd watching Falcon, and they were not appalled by what they were seeing. They were all happy and excited. Yeah. And I like that. I like the way that they showed that, like the parallels of like how that Captain America was seen, how this compared to how this Captain America is seen. And it's like, it's very clear that like, this Captain America has got like the stamp of approval here, which I thought that was a nice little parallel. Like they did it a couple times in the episode. That's all I could think about was like how shocked everybody seemed in the previous interaction like this. So I thought it was pretty cool. There's like multiple times in the show where like somebody calls him Black Falcon. Yeah. And every time like it was so funny. There was everything. His just reaction to everything, like his reaction to Bucky and his sister. And then there was my favorite part of my favorite moment with Sam in this show, as far as like comedy goes, was so basically this guy that's like flying this plane with some hostages in there. Is getting the better of Falcon, and he hits him with the blades on the helicopter. And when Falcon's coming back, he's like, "All right, boy." He's like, "You earned your." He's like, "All right, boy, you earned this ass whooping." And the way he said it was like, that guy's really funny. Everything he says really makes you laugh. Even like in interviews and stuff, like everything that Anthony Mackie says is funny. Like even when he's like not meaning to be funny, sometimes he sounds funny.
Have you seen the stuff like between him and Tom Holland?
Yes, I love it.
That guy's so good.
That guy's amazing. Everything he says is funny. So I'm like, he's like really humorous. Oh yeah, that's one beautiful thing. By the end of this episode, is like they kind of like get along a little bit. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, Bucky and Sam, they seem to be really good bros now. Which is like, I mean, they're stuck. Like at this point, they're going to be in everything together.
Oh yeah.
Going forward, like if there's another Avengers event, obviously that's going to be both of them there. And then on top of that, it's like they're like, with Steve Rogers gone, like they are going to be like the little team.
They're the new.
Yeah, it's going to take two of them
Steve Rogers.
Yeah, it's going to take two of them to like make up for Steve Rogers not being around. But like it's a good dynamic, and I really like I'm really looking forward to seeing more of these guys. So in the final confrontation and everything that happens, something happened that I didn't expect to happen. So basically, like Walker shows up and he's got his Captain America suit on again, and he's got a makeshift shield that he was making in the after credit scene, which. I mean, this thing is a nightmare too. Like this thing, like is getting dented. It's like he throws it one time, like the other Captain America shield, and it does not bounce off of things like Captain America's shield does. It just kind of instantly falls to the ground. And that's one thing that I talked about, like in the previous episodes. I thought that Falcon was going to get superpowers because of the way he was throwing that shield.
Yeah.
But I think that I just didn't understand the dynamic, like the quality of like the shield. Like, it seems like anybody can throw it. Like this thing like what Peter said in Civil War.
No.
He's like, this defies the law of gravity.
Yeah.
Like this shield. So like I definitely think that like the thing that I was confused about like with him throwing the shield was just like anybody can throw that shield, because like you can see how Walker was throwing that one compared to this one. This one's just falling. So basically what happens is like by the end of the big confrontation, Walker saves people. And kind of like it kind of seems like he just like snaps out of what like I don't know the like everything that he was going through trying to be this Captain America, this new Captain America, and like how daunting that was, and like it seems like he might have he seems like he probably was a good guy, like
I would get used to it.
Yeah, I'm not like getting used to it yet.
My predictions. I don't know anything about the comic book character. Well, I don't want to say
U.S. Agent?
Yeah. I don't know anything about it, so I can't really say for sure, but I don't think it'll last.
I don't either, but it feels like this might be a character that, like, we end up, like, because, I mean, at the beginning of the show, I hated this guy. But then in the final episode, he really turned me around. By the end of the episode, like, they're working with him.
He's working on it, but, like,
all I'm saying is, like, I can definitely see, couple shows down the road, couple movies down the road where I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like, I can't believe that, like, I hate it. And I've seen a lot of people really hating on that guy online. Like, they hate this guy because of his character, which is crazy because, like, to me, it's like he's doing such a good job that you hate that character that much. You should love the actor.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that means the actor's doing an amazing job that he can, like, make you hate this guy so much that you're starting to hate him as a person. So, like, I don't know. I thought he did a great job. But, like, I think that, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it seems like maybe, he's going to turn around and be a character we're all going to love one day.
Well, you know why he's such a good actor, right?
Why?
Because of his dad.
Yeah.
Like, Kurt Russell's one of my favorite actors of all time.
Yeah, his father's Kurt Russell, who's, like, obviously amazing. So, like, he got it in the genes. So, another thing that we found out, which is something that I wasn't, like, if I'm being honest, I kind of started thinking about in episode 4, was that Sharon Carter was the power broker.
See, I didn't think about it until she was on the phone, because I watch everything with subtitles. Yeah, right. And, like, whoever she was talking to was speaking French, and I was like, hey, the dude from the very first episode was French. Bardock? Yeah. And I was like, why would she be talking to him right after she just got off the phone with Sam? And it finally clicked before she actually said it, but yeah, she's the power broker.
Yeah, the thing with that is, like, that didn't really do anything for me, because, like, I kind of, like, I guess I just caught it too fast, I guess.
Yeah.
So by the time it happened, I was like, yeah, I know. I was like, right, whatever, I don't care.
I still wasn't really expecting it, even though I caught the French thing, but...
I don't know, but the thing is, like, by the end of the episode, she is in the after credit scene, which we can go and get to because it's kind of unrelated to the rest of this episode. She gets her pardon for the events of Civil War, and she's kind of free to do her own thing, and she's kind of back in her job working for the government, the United States government, which is obviously not a good thing because she is a bad guy at this point. It's like, it's kind of crazy to think about, like, the events of Civil War had a lot of the Avengers and Sharon Carter on the run.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see in that amount of time that, like, Captain America, Black Widow, Falcon, Wanda, they're all still doing good, you know. And Sharon Carter turned into a bad guy.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the same thing with the power thing. It's like certain situations, like some people are like you find out that they are good people and they keep because like no matter how much Captain America struggled in those 2 years after Civil War, obviously like they were still good people, but like, it seems like she really like twisted a little bit, like she kind of went to the dark side.
Do you think it's from the power or just for the fact that she didn't get the pardon like everybody else did and she's still been on the run for 5 years?
That's true. She was also on a run a lot longer than they were.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to consider. So by the end of the episode, the Flag Smashers are defeated. Most of them are in prison. Carly is the last one. Yeah. That's like she was killed, and most of them were in prison. But like the leader, Carly had died. Sharon Carter kills her because she's like pretty much gonna kill Falcon. And the final fight scene, it's kind of like it was weird because it's kind of a bummer because like I saw a big like climactic ending where like they brought in War Machine and maybe some other characters. That's really what I was hoping for. So in a way, it kind of bummed me out. But at the same time, like Falcon is Captain America, and seeing him like this like. It was a completely different way of like fighting that he had now with the shield and the wings. It was really interesting seeing him like. It just seemed like he was like a completely different person like when he was fighting this time. And it's like I think it's interesting because like the person that Sharon Carter called previously. Do you remember what he was from? The guy that the final fight with when Falcon's fighting that big dude that she called after she called Falcon.
The French guy, Bardock. Yeah. He was from one of so was it Civil War? Or
no, it was the Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier.
He was the guy that actually gave Captain America a pretty hard time near the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that they brought a character back that gave Captain America a hard time and then showed Falcon defeating him. Yeah. It's like showing that like I do still think that one day that Falcon's going to get the Super Soldier Serum.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask if you still thought he was going to.
I think so because they're just going to have to like, they're going to have to definitely push him forward. But at the same time, he took this guy without the super,
without the serum.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. I think it's cool that, like, even when he was, like, after everything happens, he ends up pretty much calling out the senator and, like, pretty much the governments of the world and telling them how crappy they are and saying that, you can do better. And he's like, look, I'm just here. I don't have any superpowers. I don't have anything except for just, like, the will to do better, pretty much. And, like, he just wants, like, and it's just, like, everything he said to that guy, I found true, and like I thought it was that was like a very like deep, like powerful, conversation he had with those people, like, and the whole world saw that too. Yeah. And after that, he visits Isaiah, who was the black super soldier. Yeah. Who spent most of his life in jail and like had this hard time, just pretty much got screwed over by the government. And basically, Falcon made things right in one way by at the beginning of the show, there's like a museum with a Captain America display of all of these things about Steve Rogers, and he has he's done whatever he could do and has included a section dedicated to the second super soldier.
Isaiah Bradley.
Yep, Isaiah Bradley. He's got his own section, and like that was a beautiful moment too. Like, he was crying and like
I almost cried.
I know, that got me. I was like, man, it's like obviously that guy's had a hard life, but like, I don't know. Watching this episode, like these last couple episodes, like, there's one time where Bucky's like, he's like, good job, Cap. And like, I was thinking like, I feel like, now I might be wrong, you might disagree with me still, but I feel like it's very few people after watching these couple episodes can say that Steve picked the wrong person to be Captain America. Like, I know, like, a lot of times people were like, I don't know, should it be Bucky, should it be Sam? I think after these episodes, I think that it's hard to, like, deny that, like, Sam was the right choice. You don't think so?
I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. We'll see. We'll see with the new movie or the show or whatever they're going to do to moving forward, so.
It was great. Like, I mean, Isaiah was like, he told Sam, he's like, you're special. He's like, you're special. And, just like I was like I don't know, this show like I mean I liked Falcon in the other movies, but I don't know, this show really like brought him and Bucky both really like gave them like the limelight, and I thought it was really good. Yeah. So all in all, the after credit scene. Okay, so at the beginning of the show it always said the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, And at the end of this episode, it says Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So Falcon, he's no longer the Falcon anymore. He actually gives his wings to a little a sidekick that he had during the show that like kind of helped him out with things.
Oh yeah.
He tells him to keep the old Falcon wings. And I was looking things up, and in the comics, that character becomes the next Falcon.
Yeah, like I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
like, they're gonna have to bring another Falcon in,
right?
Since he's not technically the Falcon anymore.
Yeah, they're setting that up for sure. Yeah, so I don't know if the show, like, I don't think there's gonna be a season 2 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier because I think that I know they announced today that there was going to be a Captain America 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Like, do you think that this is gonna be like the next time we see these guys? Is it gonna be a movie or a show or like? So like, do you think like Captain America and the Winter Soldier, is that gonna be the name of the next movie, or is that like what do you think their future is? I guess.
I think Captain America 4 is gonna be its own standalone thing, but there's gonna definitely be a second season to this show.
Right. Or I guess a completely different series. It's gonna have a different name.
Yeah.
So I know that they announced that WandaVision was like a mini series. Like there's not gonna be a season 2 of WandaVision.
Okay.
So I'm thinking it's gonna be the same way with this. I think a lot of these shows like Loki and things like that. I think it's gonna be individual stories. Like next time it might be called something else, and it's gonna just be its own show. But all in all, like, what is the rating that you would give the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Okay, so I give WandaVision the fantastic.
Yep.
I really, really enjoyed that show. I enjoyed this show, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I did WandaVision, so I'm going to go with a great.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a great too. I thought just WandaVision was so interesting and different, I guess, unique. And this show was like definitely like a lot of the standard superhero business going on, which, like I said before, is nothing I'm ever going to complain about. But, yeah, it was definitely just, like, not as, like... I thought the mystery of WandaVision was, like, what kept me going every week. Yeah. I was, like, even episodes that I wasn't in love with, I was just like, what is going on? Like, so it was, like, something, like, week to week I was thinking about. And this one, like, really the big thing with me with this is just, like, the build-up of seeing Sam become Captain America.
Yeah.
And once that finally happened, I will say that the payoff was, like, well worth it. It was definitely fun to see him as Captain America. But, I guess let us know in the comment section if you preferred WandaVision or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and what do you think about Sam as the new Captain America? If you like this video, give it a like, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to our channel. And I guess next time we will be back with Loki.
Okay.
As far as the Marvel shows go. So I guess until next time.